On this video, we are going to see how we can send Windows event logs and IIS activity logs into the logly service that we talked previously. So the first thing that we need to do is to log in into Logly. I'm going to open my Logly account, something that I've created previously, so you don't have to see the provisioning of the account, which is something that takes only a few minutes. But what I'm going to do is to install an agent on a Windows VM machine on Azure that has already an application installed running in IIS, so we can get data from it besides the Windows event log. In order to set up Logly, we can access here the source setup, and we can either ask to run a wizard that will ask us a few questions to what kind of data we want to collect, and it will guide us what needs to be installed. But I'm going to use a simple path because I know what I want to install, and I can see here all the kind of sources that Logly supports out of the box. So you can follow them if you want. For now, I will just write Windows, and I will select Windows System Log, and Logly is going to give me instructions what kind of setup I need to do on my machine in order to collect data from it. So we need to install nxlog. That is an agent that collects information according to a configuration file and sends it to Logly automatically. So I'm going to log in on my Windows machine. It's a VM on Azure. And I already previously downloaded the nxlog, so I'm going to install it so you can see it. And then I'm going to get information from the Logly site. We can see here that we need to edit this file, and we need to put some information inside it in order to collect information from the logs. So I'm going to edit the file. The file is already there, but I'm going to copy the entire content that Logly is suggesting me into. I'm going to delete what is there, and then I'm going to install it. So this should be enough in order to configure the event log. But I also want IIS. So I'm going again to the source setup, and this time I will choose IIS. And again, the Logly website tells me what I need to do. Basically, I need to add this information to my file. I don't want to replace it because I just need to collect extra information adding to the ones who are already collecting. So I'm going to add this to the end of our file. So I'm going to save the file, and it will not allow me to save the file because of Windows access control. I'm going just to save it on the desktop. I'm going to remove the txt extension, and I'm copying the file over with the new one. So I'm going to replace it, and I'm going to restart the service, nxlog. So, or in this case, I'm going to start it because we just installed it. So now we have information that is going to be collected. So besides the event logs, we also want to collect some information from the Parts Unlimited web application that we have running on this VM. This is the exact same VM where we have configured nxlog. So I'm going to do some kind of navigation again in order to get some data in there. So we go again to logly, and hopefully the information is already being collected. It takes a few, in the beginning, it takes a few minutes to get information, so perhaps we haven't got there any, but we can see here that we already have some kind of events from the event log. For example, this is a dashboard that shows all the events in the last 24 hours. We can see here in terms of the errors of the events that have been received in terms of distribution. We can see here that we are monitoring this machine that had 87 events lately, just after being installed. But for example, we want a little more than that, than just a dashboard. We wanted to do, we can see, for example, the live tail as the things happening. So let's see the events happening in almost real time, because IIS is buffered. It takes a little while until the logs reach here. But we can see here that events are being received in real time. In this case, typically the event logs, and not only IIS, but event logs and IIS. So let's just stop this and let's do a search. So to do a search, the most typical example is just use a star, and that will search all data in the last hour. So you can see here that all the events that have been occurred on the machine in the last hour. We can see the data as a list, or for example, we can see a grid, and we can see all the fields that logly has ingested. So we can see here that we have already IIS events, so we'll do a more directed search. So for example, we want to see all the events that have been generated with the application name IIS. So we can see here on the list that we have been receiving the requests that have been made to IIS. But we want not only all the events, but only the events that were successful. So we can add, for example, json.cs/status, which is the field name for IIS, and we want with the value 200. So we can only see the successful events, and we can see that we had some events from IIS in the last hour. If you want to change the time filter, we can also do it. But for example, we want to know if there were 404 errors. That is a missing file, and we can see that we had a few. So the application is requested some files that doesn't exist. For example, in this case, it's looking for a font. So perhaps someone should look into this, because if the application is requesting a font and it's not on the file system, perhaps it's showing a wrong image to their users. But we want graver errors. For example, we want 500 errors, and locally we don't have any of those. We can also do trending, not with this one, but in order to get some kind of charts. For example, we can do a trend chart and do, for example, a trend line. You can do an event count, and we can see there are no events. Let's do a search again. We can see the events occurring in real time. But apart from that, we will want to monitor errors, for example. So we want to be alerted if there are errors. What we can do here is to save this search, for example, IIS errors. This will allow us to use the same query later on, and we can also save and create an alert immediately. So we can example so we want to use this save search. We could use another one, but this is the one you want. So we want to be alerted if there are more than let's say five errors in the last 15 minutes. it's a low traffic site, so perhaps this is a good number. And we can say, for example, to send an email to this user if the error occurs. We could also send the alert, for example, to a webhook. We won't do it. And we also can say that we want to have 10 recent events as part of the alert. So we have some details about the errors itself and not just that the error has occurred. So we can say the schedule for this alert. We can say, for example, we want it to run every 5 minutes in order to detect if there are errors on our system. So we now save the alert, and if the error occurs, we will be alerted, and we can see here the number of events that were detected as part of this alert. And we can see, for example, in the last 24 hours, if there were data that was deemed good enough in order to generate the alert. So let's delete the alert so it doesn't send me emails. And I think we have shown some of the features of Loggly. You should create an account online in order to try it for yourself and to see all the features that we have described in the course, so you can have a better understanding of what Loggly supports.